In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new Tesla Plaid. Now, you probably thought that the title I would be saying Plaid. It's actually pronounced Plaid, and of course, a lot of people are making mistakes about that, but that's not me. I make mistakes all the time, so I'm not too worried about that. Basically, what we're going to talk about today is, of course, probably the fastest production car that we will have seen ever. And of course, this is huge. So the Tesla Plaid is ridiculous, and of course, it's beyond ludicrous. Yes, I used that line. Basically, it's going to be an 1100 horsepower electric car that has over 500 miles, 600 kilometers of distance. That is crazy. Now, first off, I remember when I was in high school, and this was not very long ago. This is only like 12 years, 13, 14 years ago when I was in high school, and we were used to make fun of electric cars because, of course, there was all those small little, I think it was a Toyota Prius that was electric, and we used to make fun of it. And, of course, all those smart cars. We had a teacher who had a smart car, and it's a long story, but we used to make fun of them so much. A supply teacher had the smart car, and we used to make fun of them so much because it was just the nerdy thing to have. And, of course, I can tell you right now, having a Tesla is not a nerdy thing to have. Sure, there's some people who may be considered nerdy, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I may be considered nerdy for having multiple YouTube channels. But going from there, this car is ridiculous. So you're getting 1100 horsepower. I could not even fathom how fast that is. I have a 400 and something horsepower Mustang, and that thing is fast. Imagine getting almost triple the horsepower. It is ridiculous. And that 1100 horsepower is not the same as an 1100 horsepower gasoline car. And I can tell you this, when you're looking at an electric car versus a gasoline powered car, a electric car, the motors are pretty much behind the wheels in most cases. And versus a gasoline powered car where the engine's up front, there's the transmission, and then there's the gears going out to the different wheels. If it's a rear wheel drive, it goes through a shaft into another gearbox essentially, and then so you're losing a lot of power versus an 1100 horsepower electric car where there may be only that much room between the actual tire and the motor. So that's ridiculous. Let's get down and let's actually check out the Tesla website. So, of course, this is all Canadian dollars, and at first we have the Long Range Plus, which is a fast car on its own, and that's got 647 kilometers of range, top speed is 250 kilometers an hour, and its 0 to 60 miles an hour, or 0 to 100 kilometers, is 3.8 seconds, which is fast on its own. That's very fast. And then when you move up to the performance model, which is an extra $23,000 Canadian, so about $3 American, you're now getting roughly the same mileage. I'm not going to cry about that. You're getting a little bit faster top speed, and then you're getting a whole second and a half basically faster on the 0 to 60. Now, that one, the performance model, has ludicrous mode. And of course, ludicrous mode is what everyone really wanted to have when these cars first came out. And of course, now they've brought out the Plaid mode. Plaid. I think it's supposed to be pronounced Plaid. And that's 189,000 Canadian. So again, like $3 American. And we have 840 plus kilometer range. That's more than any like gasoline car. Maybe a diesel Golf or something might be able to get that. And then you're getting a top speed of 320 kilometers an hour. Good luck ever trying to reach that speed on a street legally, but unless you're in Germany. But then there's the 0 to 60, which is 2.1 seconds or better. They haven't said the exact time. They say or better because depending on how I think they do the coding or the performance modifications or whatever it is that they need to do or they want to do, it could end up being faster than 2.1 seconds. That is absolutely amazing. And of course, if you're in Canada, you do get a tax bonus for that in most cases as well. I think the Ontario government's gotten rid of that, but I think a couple of other provinces still have that. And then this is just ridiculous. It's got 1100 horsepower, tri-motor, all-wheel drive. That is ridiculous. So I can't remember how they have this set up, but I think it's two individual motors up front and then one motor in the back, or two individual motors in the back and one in the front. I can't remember, but either way, it's a four-wheel drive car that has 1,100 horsepower. This thing's going to be blowing the rubber off of Bugattis. Like, for a car to look similar to this. Now, why I say similar is because the Tesla Plaid version, I can almost guarantee, is not going to look the exact same as the performance model. And if it does, it's going to be one hell of a sleeper car. So how I would personally set this up in Canada is I would definitely... Ooh, I didn't want to go that far. I want to go back to exterior. I like blue. I like black too. So if I didn't have a black car already, I would probably get this in black with the black rims. That looks really snazzy to me. I would probably black out the Tesla mark, and I would probably get some tint for the headlights and black out the handles and trim and just make it a totally black car. The only thing is I own a black car. I own a black Mustang, and I know how ridiculously hard it is to keep that thing clean. So I would probably go over to the blue version and then black everything out anyways. Tint the windows. In Canada, you can actually tint your driver window. At least in Ontario, there's no law against it, really. It comes down to police or what they think. And because my Mustang windows are tinted, and I asked a cop, I was like, so is this even legal? Like, it came like this, but I'm just kind of curious. Like, I know you can't see in. And then he's like, yeah, it just comes down to what the police personally think about it, and they could give you a ticket, and they may not give you a ticket. There's no real rule against it, and you could fight it very easily in court. And then I would definitely get the black interior. And then from there, what does it offer? What does the black interior offer, or what does the interior offer at all? And this is what I would really like to see. The HEPA air filtration system. It says for viruses and all that. I really don't care about viruses, and say what you want, but the offensive odors from like diesel vehicles, yeah, that doesn't seep into your cabin. So I hate the smell of diesel vehicles. Absolutely hate the smell of it. You may like it. I hate it. I like when a car is burning gas and a car is burning oil, but I hate it when they burn diesel. And then Autopilot. Autopilot, this new full driving capability is kind of cool. So of course, yes, I would be getting the full Autopilot. And that's a $10,600 option. But the reason why I would be personally getting this is because, of course, sure, I like to drive, but I also like to kind of deal with things on the phone and stuff, and that would be kind of handy. Even though being on the phone is technically illegal in Ontario, if you can't drive and text, really you shouldn't be driving at all. And that's my opinion, and that's why I barely ever text, because I would rather not get pulled over. But I don't mind people texting and driving as long as they drive smart. And if you've got a full self-driving capability, then you can definitely text and drive. Now, that is just really cool as well, in my opinion. It would help a lot with long-range distances, like driving down to Florida, of course, if they open the borders ever again. But this is a very cool option to have, and I would be definitely getting it. And considering that you're already spending $200,000, what's an extra 10? It's like nothing really. It's like an extra 5%. It's less than tax. So the payments, how would the payments work out? And of course, cash, you're paying $208,000 potential savings. Yeah, I don't even look at that. I don't drive enough to even get any savings out of this. And leasing, I wouldn't be leasing it, but yeah, that's a house. And for a loan, again, that's like paying for a house. But then again, depending on what state you're in, if you're in the States. Even this could be classified as a cost of a house, but in Canada, you would be lucky to get a house for that cost, because generally speaking, the average housing cost where I live is close to $700,000. And there's nothing at all anywhere within like 500 kilometers of me that's below $350,000. So that's even with this pandemic that's going on. I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. These are my thoughts on the car, and anyways, I will see you guys again next time.